Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to another evening of Grey Eagle Sim Pilot. My name is Grey Eagle Sim Pilot. I am a real world A320 captain, bringing my love for aviation and flight simulation to all your wonderful people out there. How's everyone doing this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are in the world? Welcome to the Eagle's Nest. This evening we're going to be doing some American Airlines ops and the beautiful A300 luxury liner here. I absolutely love that it says luxury liner. Yes, I kind of miss the days where they used to actually name aircraft. This is Beanie Baby Gaming. Hello. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for showing up. What do I have to do for you to switch the route for the event in Toronto tonight? Chicago, Toronto. It's a lot shorter. 3 minutes of Squiddy Aviation. Hello. Yeah, sorry. I got off to a slightly late start here. Because of course the one time I'm not actually monitoring YouTube Studio to see if OBS has sent the feed to YouTube is of course going to be the time where OBS does not send the feed to YouTube. So I do apologize for that 1 minute delay there, but we'll be underway here in a second, and we won't be doing the VetSim event tonight. I do like doing VetSim events though. I do like having ATC, but we'll continue on the mission here down to Charlotte, North Carolina. Beanie Baby Gaming. You said you're flying down to Charlotte on Sunday on an American 737. Wow. That is going to be absolutely amazing, Squiddy Aviation. Super fun. Are you just flying to Charlotte, flying through Charlotte? Or is this work or fun? There's not really. I mean, Charlotte's not really a fun place to go, but you know, if you're going there for fun or maybe family, who knows? There, but we'll go ahead and get this bird cranked on up here. And of course, I'm rushing around trying to get the Eric updates installed as well. And of course I get in and I forgot that GSX had an update, so I did not update GSX. So we still have to deal with the pink people, at least for one more stream here. So without further delay, let's go ahead and hop into the flight deck and get things started up here, shall we? Squiddy Aviation says I'm flying there and then to Nassau. Awesome, Squiddy. Nassau for vacation. That should be tons of fun. It's going to be nice and warm and sunny and beautiful down there in the Bahamas. So hopefully you will have a fantastic time. Let's go ahead, and since I finally get this thing right. So what I was doing before was incorrect. I still had the freighter version and I wasn't choosing the passenger version, mostly because I wasn't looking hard enough for the passenger version, but I now have the passenger version. Let's go ahead and apply that load to the aircraft. We'll come in here. Sim brief is okay. Let's go ahead and request boarding, shall we? We'll go ahead and get that started. And while that's doing that, we'll come on up to the overheads, get the IRs on. 1, 2, and 3. Since a lot of systems that rely on the IRs being aligned, let's go ahead and, as you can see, our database is current. Let's go ahead and bring in our flight plan from SimBrief. There we go. Chicago, Charlotte, Raleigh is the alternate. That used to be, since we're in the Silver Bullet here, there used to be a pretty big operation for American back in the heyday. Let's see, and then we'll go ahead and align the IRSs there. Are you gonna be staying on a? I'm assuming a resort down there, Squiddy. Are you gonna be like at Atlantis? That would be really fun. Atlantis is a cool place to be. Let's see. We'll go back up to the overhead here. We will get the recorder ground control on. Max Reason says, hello, how are you doing, Max Reason? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully you are having a fantastic evening there. And hopefully you're feeling even better than you did yesterday. So there we go. Hopefully you're on the up and up. Glad to see some bare metal. Yes, sir. We're flying. I'm a nickname it the Silver Bullet. How about that? We'll call it the Silver Bullet. Down to Charlotte this evening. Excellent. Everything else on the left side of the overhead panel, that all looks good. We'll get the no smoking sign on. There we go. We'll come on up to the center left of the overhead here. We'll get this on external power since that's what's currently powering the aircraft. We'll test the squib for engine 1. Those look good, or bottle 1, and then we'll test the fire protection system for engine 1. That sounds good. I'll get the sim volume turned up just a little bit there. There we go. Excellent. We'll come on down the overhead here. We'll get the yaw damper on and ATS on. Today is an even day, so we will go to system 2 on our nav logo light there. Everything else looks good. Coming on up to the center overhead panel here. Landing gear. The landing gear panel looks good. We can't do anything else with the VHF comm. Let's test the squib for the APU. Looks good. And the bottle for the APU, or the fire system for the APU. There we go. Atlantis is very expensive, so we are staying in an Airbnb on the island. Just as good. Yeah, it's I was gonna say, is Atlantis owned by Disney or is it not? I know Disney has gotten very, 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 very expensive over the last I want to say decade. Maybe that's inflation or shrinkflation or whatever it is, but you know, I like I said, last February, not this past February, but the one before that, we went down to Disney World, and yeah, quite pricey to go down there. We'll get the APU to turn on, or we'll start the APU. We won't get it to turn on. We'll start the APU there. Coming on up to the center right of the overhead panel, the cockpit. Oh yeah, we have it open today, so that's good. The ventilation panel all looks good. Engine 2, we'll test the bottle squibs. Look good, and fire protection for your number 2. Oops, I accidentally unclicked it and re-clicked it again. We were going to go to Atlantis, but it's 600 to 900 a day. Yeah, no, you're good. Nope, don't need that. There we go. That all sounds good. We'll get the oxygen supply on. Both are in the green. That looks good. Cargo compartment smoke. Everything here looks good. We'll go ahead and get the prop heat turned on. Excellent. Alrighty. Cabin pressurization panel looks good. On up to the right hand side of the overhead panel here. We'll leave everything in the position they are. This is just easiest because there's lots of zones and lots of things you can set here. So we'll just leave everything as is. Should set a nice comfortable temperature for us. There, the APU is on. We'll get the bleed air turned on. Emergency lights are on for some reason, so we'll arm them. I don't know. Still, I find that to be super weird. Everything else there looks good. Coming down to the glare shield here. From left to right, we want to make sure all of our push buttons are extinguished. On our EFIS panel here, the flight director is on. We're in nav. Arm constraints, map, 15 nautical miles. Nothing's here yet, so we'll go on over to the FO's EFIS. We'll turn on constraints, map, and 15 nautical miles. Flight director's on, he's in nav. The display brightnesses are good where they are, and all the push buttons are extinguished. The main instrument panel, we have the airspeed indicator above the RMI, PFD above the ND, the altimeter, VSI, and ADF. They all look good. In fact, let me go ahead and pull the altimeter here real quick. Currently showing 299.0. So we'll just set that once, twice, and thrice. There we go. The clock is correct there. We'll go ahead and erect our standby attitude indicator. That looks good there. Standby altimeter is set. Air flaps are up. Alternate braking system looks good. We have brake anti-skid is a norm on. That looks good. A few memo messages here, but everything looks normal. Coming on down here, let's go ahead and set our engine oil quantity so we can know where it is. There we go. That looks good there. Landing elevation should be gotta look and see what altitude. I did not need that. I need this. Oh, guess it's over 680 feet, so about 700 feet is what we will set for our, just in case we need to do an emergency return here. So we'll do 700 feet. Looks good. Landing gears down a red arrow. That looks good there. First officer's instruments. We have the airspeed over the RMI, PFD over ND, and then we have the altimeter, VSI, and the ADF in his clock as well. Coming on down to the center pedestal here. Both our McDo's are operating, and they have the current database, so that's good. We'll leave the trim where it's at. The speed brakes are stowed. Those levers are idle. Flaps are up. Engine masters are off. The parking brake is set. We have a... Ooh, I forgot our squawk code here. We have an auto ATC of 5670, so we'll do that. 5670. We'll go ahead and put that on there. Alt on. That looks good. And our rudder trim is showing 0, so that's good there. Excellent. Let's go ahead and get to programming the FMC here. Go ahead and get rid of you. Nav accuracy upgraded. That sounds good. All right, we have Chicago, Charlotte, Raleigh is the alternate, 15 is the index, 350 are cruising altitude, everything else looks good. We'll go ahead and go to the next page. Our block fuel should be 38, no, that's going to be 40.2. So 40.2, that's going to be our block fuel. Weight and balance here, zero fuel weight, 234.2. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. And a zero fuel weight CG of 27.4. We'll go ahead and put that in there. We'll make our route reserve as small as possible there. And our alternate is going to be 6.1 on the fuel. That looks good. Let's go ahead and put in our route. The SID, there's really not a SID here. But we will depart off of 10 left. So we'll go ahead and find 10 left, insert that. Am I blind? There's 10 center. The order of these runways makes no sense, but okay. There we go, 10 left. We'll go ahead and insert that. That really doesn't do anything here for us. And let's scroll down to our arrival airport here. Charlotte. They're going to be on the Parker 4. They're landing to the south, so 18 right since we're coming in from the west. I'm going to leave none in. Well, Yeah, we'll put Rutke in there. And then where is Carcore? There it is. And then we're looking for Taft. As the transition, we'll go ahead and insert that. Excellent. That is all looking good there. We can go ahead and get to our takeoff performance here. Let's take a look-see. Ground. Nope. I want takeoff here. 4 left. Nope. I want 10 left. There we go. We'll sync that. And I think it's 10,000. Let me bring up the ATIS real quick to see how much runway it is remaining. Uh, 10,093 feet. So 10,093 feet. There we go. We'll do 15-0. Anti-ice off. Force trigger off. Air conditioning is on. We'll calculate that. We got 58, 58, and 60. What is your favorite aspect of flying the A300? Wow. Okay, so that's a very interesting one there, Squiddy. I would say my favorite aspect of flying the A300 is, I mean, I just love the way it hand flies. As someone that flies a lot of fly-by-wire, you kind of forget how much of a joy it is when the aircraft is built and designed right, and it just feels good in your hands. And even though I've never actually flown the A300 in real life, this simulation gives me the impression that it is as big as this airplane is. It has that machine pilot connection that seems to make it a fun airplane to fly. 158, 158, 160. That's what we're looking for. 158, 158, and need to come up top here. Turn our trim on. There we go. 160. Let's see. It didn't give us a top altitude. ATC is not online. We'll go straight up to 35,000 feet. And we'll go ahead and set that in 250 knots. There we go. That looks good. And then our flex is going to be a flex of 63. 63. That's going to be our flex for today. So we'll select flex 63. There we go. Now you can see as our flex temp goes up, our N1 comes down. So we'll go ahead and set that at flex 63. It is so loud back there. Are we still boarding? No, they're even done boarding back there. Wow, that was a very quick board. Okay. So we get 158, 158, 160 with a flex of 63. That looks good there. So everything is all set. We'll come back down to our flight plan here. We can go ahead and review our route. It's easier if we do it from here, I think. There we go. Excellent. We'll get radar vectors to earned. And then Eleanor. And then direct Emily. Direct E-Tame. Or Tommy. E-Tame. Gonna say E-Tame. Then emerge image. I think that's how you would say that. And then direct to FLM. I think that's Falmouth. And then direct to Taft. That's going to be the transition on the Parker for arrival. 551 total miles there. That looks good. We can go ahead and put you back there. I'll hit flight plan one more time, take us back up to the top, and now's a great time to ask our FO if he's ready for a briefing. Yep, he says he's ready for a briefing. All right. What are your threats? Well, the biggest threat is going to be taxiing around, since the airport diagram does not match the actual airport in the simulator. So somewhere in here is all janky. So what we'll do is we'll probably just go straight out of Alpha. What is this? 12? Alpha 12. That's kind of cluttered right here. Down Bravo, and then we'll just take Bravo all the way down to Delta. And then we'll do a runway 10 left, departure from Delta. We have 10,000 feet of runway. It's plenty of runway. Plan on doing a 15-0 departure. Flex will be the power setting. Standard reject considerations. Any questions about what we need to reject for? Nope. All right. In the event of an engine failure, we'll continue straight ahead to about 5,000 feet, clean up the aircraft, work our ECAM, and plan a emergency return to runway 10 center. 10 left will be optimal if we can get that, or 10 center if we can't. Otherwise, we'll continue up to 35,000 feet. I have CTAF in the active, Unicom in the standby, and we got the auto ATC of 5670. Max Racing says, did you get that video and message I sent you? Oh, yes, we are going to talk about that when we get to cruise, Max Racing. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I had seen that video a while ago, and since you brought that back up again, it brought up some more things I wanted to talk about. But most of the things are going to be along that same point there that I made last night. Excellent. Well, since we're done with literally everything, well, first, cabin door is open. So before I do anything, ground equipment, we will close that door. Let's go to the overhead. Turn off the external power. There we go. We can remove both of those. Excellent. And what we can do now is go up to our overhead, get our fuel pumps on, get our seatbelt sign on, get our beacon light on, and lastly, there we go, all our doors are armed. We can check our oxygen. And let's get our checklist out and run a checklist. Cockpit preparation completed. Fuel quantity. 40.2 required. 40.2 is on board. Takeoff data. We have 158. 160 with a flex of 63. Landing elevation is 700 feet set. Altimeters, got 2990 set. Brake anti-skid, norm on. Windows and doors are closed. We can go below the line. Beacon on, park and brake as required before start checklist is complete. Have you ever flown a 220 IRL or in flight sim 2? Well, I don't have the Synoptic A220, so no, I haven't flown either one, or I haven't flown on one in IRL or in the simulator. So, I think Synoptic's the only one really making one right now. So until that comes out, we'll have to wait until they finish development of that. I really didn't track what they were doing during the Flight Sim Expo, so I really couldn't tell you what was going on there. So let's go ahead and prepare the area for pushback and departure. I like how everything's not automatic now with this this update that I have for GSX. It's like, okay, are you ready for pushback and and departure. Yes. Okay. Now it's gonna do everything. It should pull the jetway, right? Yeah. There we go. So there we go. It's a lot of really subtle but nice things. And the GSX update. I just need to get my purple people going. Hopefully that's with this next update that they just pushed. I just really need to download it. They are so loud from the cabin. 220 is a fun aircraft. I'm thinking it is. I really can't wait. It's going to be a nose right pushback there, tail into the alley. But before we do that, go ahead and make sure. Yep, no one is around us, behind us, coming in, coming out. Excellent. We can go ahead and release our brake here. Alrighty, I get the sounds up. There we go. And today is, we said, even day. Yep. System 2, even day, B day. We'll start engine 2. Yeah, the new engines that they're making nowadays, the CFM Leaps, the Pratt & Whitney GTFs, they can wail. It's actually kind of fun to listen to them. And forget which one the 220 has. They have the GTFs, I think, right? So yeah, they can wail for sure. Oh, you have a family member that flies one. That's cool. That is absolutely cool. Yeah, I imagine that to be a fun airplane to fly. It's like the epitome of Bombardier getting all the things right and stepping up to, I wouldn't say big boy aircraft world, but stepping up into the large regional jet world. And essentially it's a mainline jet, but that was their... Why are we still moving? Or was the nose lowering? I think the nose was lowering. Alright, let's get engine 2 online here. Or engine 1 on. Okay, you said they have the Pratt & Whitney 1500s. It's still a geared turbofan though, right? It's a GTF. Because I do remember when they first came out, they were having issues with something on the engine. They were like, oh, don't fly above a certain altitude and don't fly, so fast. So until we can figure out what the issue is that's causing whatever it was. I think there was some sort of cracking on turbines or something like that somewhere that was happening if you ran the engine too hard. Okay, so they're the baby Pratt & Whitney 1000Gs without the dual cooling. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. They're also a geared turbofan. Yeah, okay, so they are a geared fan. Oh, we're just sitting here max motoring. Let's go ahead and introduce fuel. Okay, she's walking away already. Oh, person. Or purple people over there. I'm really hoping when I update the GSX here that the purple people will be done with. Alrighty, there's the electrical changeover. We have 2, 4, 6 on the number 2. We have 2, 4, 6 on the number 1. And let's go ahead and go 15-0. Get the bleed off. Get the APU off. Beautiful. After start, oh yeah, let's go ahead and get the pitch trim. Weight and balance. Nope. I want takeoff data down 0.4. So let's go ahead and look for that. looks about good right there. Let's go ahead and do a after start checklist. Pitch trim is down 0.4. Set. Rudder trim is at 0 still. That is set. Spoilers are armed. Slats flaps, we have 15.0. Ecam status is checked. NAS we do not need. Hand signal is received. The after start checklist is complete. Let's go ahead and check our flight controls right here and do a before takeoff checklist, shall we? So I like to do a box pattern. Watch your knees and guts.
Clear traffic, United 1538. We're about 10 miles off of one right.
One right or 10 right?
Niner left.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Alrighty, so flight controls are checked. Our flight instruments are checked. Briefing is confirmed. V1, VR, V2, and a flex temp. We got 158, 158, 160 with a flex 63. Slats flaps are 15.0, and our takeoff config normal for takeoff. We can go below the line. Transponder is set. TCAS is off. Auto brake max, and or sorry, I need to actually set max, don't I? Just not say it. There we go. Auto brake is at max, and our ignition is as required. So the before takeoff checklist is fully complete. We'll bring up our map here. We'll just head out, like I said, Alpha 12 and Bravo is what we'll do. Chicago air traffic, American 3318 will be taxiing to runway 10 left at Delta Delta via Alpha 12 and Bravo Delta Delta, Chicago's traffic. Alrighty, so it's clear on the left, it is clear on the right. We can go ahead and release the parking brake here. Slide this on over to where an iPad would actually be. There we go. You say he used to fly in the USA only, but recently he can fly around the world. Amazing. That's awesome. That is awesome. So is he, I guess, is he still on the 220 or is he on something bigger if he's flying around the world? I would assume he's on something like a 330 or a 350. You see how janky this is? I don't even think... What is going on here? Does this taxiway exist? My big question. Yes, it does. In a very narrow sense of the word. Man, I really wish Asobo would redo some of these handcrafted airports. I really do. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and move our map down here. We got Delta Delta off to the left side there. We'll continue here. Beautiful.
We're here traffic, Air Canada 7060. We're making a left turn.
093 is the runway heading. So let's go ahead and set that. Oh, you see how this curves around? Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and turn left here at November 2, whatever this is. We'll make this left-hand turn and then a right-hand turn on November. And that'll be that. Not messing around with all these weird taxiways. There we go. We're on a taxiway that hasn't changed. Beautiful. There's a United taxiing out, or in, out probably. Over there, off to our right. Beautiful. Love that livery. The Evo Blue livery, as they call it. Okay, you say he's still on the 220. But you're sure he still does shorter flights. Oh, I mean, that's pretty cool. Speaking of cooling engines, yes. What are we cooling? You're talking about how it's just motoring the engine there? Yeah. That'll cool off the engine there for sure. So, can I set a heading now? Heading select? Oh, no. I don't want that. Oh. Oh. How did it go? It cycled around to the current heading I was on. Okay. That's weird. 093, I think we said. 09 something or another. Delta Delta is the next left-hand turn we need to left here. Yeah, 093. Excellent. Chicago area traffic, American 3318 departing runway 10 left from Delta Delta. Will be departing the pattern to the south. Chicago area traffic. Alrighty. So, we've made it down to Delta Delta. The runway appears to be clear. Get all of our lights on.
Air traffic, Canada 7060 left turn downwind. Will be coming down through 8000 for the ILS.
Alright, volume's coming back up again. There we go.
Air traffic, United 1538, we're clear runway 09 left.
40% on the N1. Beautiful. Toga. Thrust set. $80. Checked. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up.
Oh, air traffic, United 1146 departing 09 right.
Alright, there we go. Flaps up. Let's go direct to earned and nav. Chicago area traffic, American 3318 heavy 2800 departing the pattern to the south. Last call, Chicago area traffic. You can see downtown Chicago out in the distance. A little foggy, but it's there. A little foggy, but it's there right before we get into the clouds. Beautiful. Alrighty, excellent. I'm gonna get the autopilot on so I can, let's see if we can see downtown. There we go. Get a nice little downtown view. I hope we can get a little downtown view. There it is. Coming in just off the wingtip there. Bring the sim volume down just a tad. Absolutely beautiful. There it is, sitting under the shadow of the clouds. A little dark down there, but that's quite all right. If you're on a nice summer day, it is a good reprieve to have some cloud cover. That is absolutely picture perfect. Beautiful. We are through 10,000. Well, we aren't accelerating. We're going to do a 250 knot climb. Interesting. Oh, I didn't hit profile. There we go. Do a profile climb there. That's very interesting. It's an auto. All right. Auto, it's in climb, so that's good. I guess 102.1 is the limit. Okay. It was weird that the thrust increased there. That's very interesting. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and we'll get the lights off. These lights off, the landing lights there. Make sure they aren't extended. And let's go ahead and switch you over to a Unicom. Beautiful. No ATC online at all this evening. That is quite all right. Yeah, the sound is very interesting. It kind of like fades out from like the buzzsaw of the engines to just wind noise. It's very interesting how they did it. You said you're about to go live Detroit to Toronto. Sweet deal, Beanie Baby Gaming. Let's see if I can find you here. Eventually, I'll put you up on the screen here for a little bit. There we go. So 8:30. So that's now. That's very cool. Yeah, I didn't know there were so many VetSim events going on this week. You seem to have found all of them. I will be working for the next few days or so. I should say more than a few days. Be working for about the next week. The next 2 weeks, unfortunately, because I will be working somehow. I'll be working on a Tuesday. There will be no turn and burn Tuesdays. I am so sorry for that. So we won't have any turn and burn Tuesdays for a while, but I'll try. No promises here. I'll try on my days off to do some more heavy flying. So my plan over the next, okay, so I have about 4 more days this month I can stream. So what I will do is I think we'll do like heavies across America or something like that. Or they're not going to be long flights. We're not doing like LA to JFK, but oh, dude, the cirrus clouds look so amazing. It's just nice to have high altitude clouds in this game now. It's just so amazing. I realized I never even finished the after takeoff checklist here. Let's go ahead and first of all, we're transition standard, so we'll pull standard. We'll set standard here since that we can't do that, and then we'll pull standard here. So the standard set once, twice, thrice. Flaps are retracted. Landing gear is up and neutral. The packs are on. Altimeters are standard set. There we go. Next checklist is the approach checklist. So yeah, that's it's something that I think I kind of want to do next. It's like heavies across America. No, we won't be doing like, you know, JFK to LA or Honolulu to Boston or anything like that. But you know, we'll keep it right around the 1 to 1.5 hour flight mark. And oh, that's why Cleveland Center is online. I see that now, Beanie Baby Gaming. All right. Sweet deal there. Yeah, there's already a conga line of people going into Toronto from various places. It's not just Detroit, but yeah, a lot of people from various places going into Toronto there. Toronto will get very, very, very busy tonight, indeed. But you know, and I try to avoid VATSIM events and an aircraft I'm unfamiliar with, and especially one like the A300 where it takes a little bit more manual labor to, if they change the runway on you, it's like a lot of work you got to do to verify everything is back in the right position. So I like to stay in my comfort zone with the Airbus if I'm going to fly online during a VATSIM event, because then I know I can literally do whatever ATC tells me to do. I know how to manipulate things and make everything work in my favor there. But back to what I was saying before about heavies across America. It'll be like 1.5 hour flights. And, you know, I only have 4 flights, so I really do have to plan it. I think we will start in LA. Maybe we'll start in Vancouver. I am not too sure. But we will start in LA, and we'll just kind of hop across the US in a heavy, whether it be the A350 or the A330 or the 777-200 or the 777-300. That really, I guess it depends on which hub I'm going to and what airplane I want to fly into that hub. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. So not too sure. Not too sure how this. Like I said, I only have 4 days total for the rest of the month that I'll be able to stream. So I get up on these next few days. I got to figure out which airplanes I want to fly and where I want to fly them to. Max Racing already put a poll in for the A350. That was definitely up there. I considered Delta hub hopping in the A350. That might take the cake. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that one may take the cake there. We'll go ahead and get some in-flight tunes going here. Still waiting on Beanie Baby Gaming to get his stream up and going. So we'll try to bring up his stuff as well. You should bring the MD-80 in. Okay, so Max Racing. I I used to. This is taking me back. These are like the good days of my flight simming days, right? So, back in the FSX days, I used to have the Mad Dog Super 80. I loved the MD-80 with all of its weird quirks. Like there are so many times, like when you first get that airplane, the Mad Dog MD-80, whatever you want to call it. When you first hop in it, especially if you haven't been in it in a while, or overall your first time in that airplane period, and you haven't ran a manual, you just know you want to start an engine, right? Well, the MD-80 is like super weird with how you start the engines, and things are not in intuitive places. Like your pressurization controllers are like in the throttle quadrant. It's like it's the weirdest setup, but it's so unique to the MD-80 series of aircraft that is just, once you understand it and once you master it, you feel so much better. But there's been so many times where I've been sitting on the ground in FSX trying to start an engine, nothing's happening, and then I blow the fire bottle into the engine. That's happened on more than 1,000 occasions. But then once you finally figure out the order in which you got to do stuff, then it becomes a lot better of a process, and the airplane is such a joy to fly. But I haven't flown that since the FSX days. I have yet to get it for Flight Sim 2020 or 2024. Maybe I will one day. Like, I haven't even gotten the PMDG 737. Like, let's be honest. Like the Mad Dog MD-80 and the PMDG 737, those I used to both have for FSX, and I used to love both of them. So I think it was back in the day before I actually flew my first air transport category aircraft. That was kind of it was not the most friendly of aircraft to fly in terms of like everything being an auto. It's nothing like the Airbus. And now that I'm in the Airbus and everything is auto, it's so nice. It's like, it's very hard to go back to something like the MD-80 or the 737 where you actually have to flip switches and stuff to turn on and off engines. Like even the A300 pretty much automated the whole engine start procedure. Like you don't have to turn off any bleeds or packs or anything like that. You just turn it over to which system, A or B, and you hit start, and that's it. Like even in the what is this? It's 19. When did they come out with the A300? 1980s, 1970s. Even in the 1970s, Airbus was automating engine starts. And here we are in 2025, and in a Boeing 737, you still have to configure and reconfigure the bleeds whenever you want to start an engine. Absolutely crazy. You know how many streamers have crashed the MD? Well, I can tell you V1 did. Yeah, and the V1 was, I think I forget where he was. He was down in South America, I think, and he was flying around in the mountains, and he was in the soup. Well, that's how it gets you right there. You're in the soup, and you're in the mountains, and he ended up not being able to clear one of the mountains, so that that was a super awesome stream for him. So that was awesome. You know, it does happen. You know, you get yourself in a situation, and that's why, like, a lot of times companies, when you are going down into like mountainous terrain areas, they have tons of pictures, tons of policies and procedures in the manual to guide you through how to do things, because the goal is to not crash into a mountain, right? So That crash was legendary. Yeah, it was. Oh man, just the terrain, pull up. Yeah, it's stuff like that, and they definitely, they don't do it as much at the non-regional carriers, but back in the regional days, they made that a point to try to get you to crash into a mountain. They'd have you in IMC, they'd try to fail an engine on you, and it'd be the engine that the opposite engine, if you didn't apply asymmetric thrust or asymmetric or the opposite rudder real quick, the other engine would start pulling you towards the mountain. Man, they had a lot of tricks up their sleeves at the regionals. The way it sounded and looked, it looked like it should have been on Mayday Air Disaster. Oh man, that airplane started making sounds I don't know the MD-80 could. I didn't know the MD-80 could make. Oh man, I mean, with what's our cruising altitude? 35,000 feet. Excellent, we're cruising along here. Yeah, the best part is, he took it in stride. So that's the thing, man. It's, you just gotta laugh at yourself sometimes, because I mean that's really all you can do. When something like that happens, at least he didn't like rage quit the sim and like throw his computer out the window. So Beanie Baby Gaming is live now on his channel. If you could go on over, give him a like, give him a subscribe, and that definitely will help him reach his goal of 800 subscribers. So he is going to be going from Detroit to Toronto here in just a little bit. Once he gets closer to takeoff, it should be able to probably get his takeoff before we land. So we'll be looking for that. So I'll try to get him up on the secondary screen here in just a little bit. I think we should be 34 for 35. We're about to level off here at flight level 350 and 80 Mach, looking absolutely beautiful. And in fact, it looks like it's gonna be smooth enough up where I can turn the fasten seatbelt sign off. There we go. Profile speed, profile climb, nav. Or should it be cruise? Shouldn't there be a cruise somewhere? There we go. Speed's coming back a little bit. Profile altitude. Okay, it doesn't say cruise, it just says profile altitude. Alrighty. Let's see. Charlotte is 748 feet here, so I'll round that up to 750. That is one little click over. There we go, 750. So we can get our pressurization profile back on the schedule there. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna pause the in-flight music there just for a minute. Let's see. What I want to do is we will bring up this. Actually, I need to. Did I mute it or no? No, I didn't. So we will bring up this video from Vast Aviation. It's a short video. It's a very short video. What do I want to do? We'll do it this way. There we go. It's a very short video, only 3 minutes and 36 seconds, but it's a quick little interaction of a San Francisco controller with a flight crew in obviously San Francisco. And so we'll take a look at it, and we will talk about it again. This is off of Vast Aviation channel. Go ahead over and show his channel a little bit of love, as he goes to great lengths to get the ATC audio, and also he does some radar recreations of a lot of stuff too. Obviously everything is estimated ADS-B data, but it is a lot of work that he puts in over there. So this is again, my channel isn't monetized, so I'm not really worried about any copyright strikes or anything like that. And if at any time in the future for some reason I do monetize the channel, then this portion of the flight might magically be cut from YouTube. But with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at this interaction that happened here in San Francisco, shall we?
San Francisco Tower, number 595 Bravo. Good afternoon. We are approaching Charlie for runway 28 right. We are ready for departure.
Gulf 595 Bravo. It's going to be 28 left for departure now for the traffic. At the approach, cross 28 right, runway 28 left, line up point.
Hold on. I don't know. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. I don't know if y'all can hear that. So I'll turn it up a significant amount. Hopefully that will be a little better.
Runway 28 left for line up and wait. November 595.
There we go.
Delta 1384, plan 28 right for departure. Caution jet blast for the departing Gulfstream. Cross 28 left, runway 28 right, line up and wait.
Alright, we're gonna need 2 minutes for taking off on the right.
Okay, traffic 10 out. So cross 28 left, 28 right, line up and wait, advise ready.
Okay, so that right there, when he said we need a few minutes, she should not have given him a line up and wait instruction. So we have 28 left here. Here's our delta. You have 28 left. She wants him to cross over 28 left and then line up and wait on 28 right for departure while they're sorting through things. And here's the thing, they are 100% in the right here, because yes, you can get a runway change, that is fine. However, there's a few different things that you need to do before you're ready for departure, which is why they asked for 2 minutes. Should they have asked for more? Maybe they thought they could get it done in 2 minutes. Now, from the time that they asked for the 2 minutes to the end of the video is actually, or until they are told to get off the runway, is actually less than 2 minutes. So I'm very, very interested to know what transpired there during that time. As well. Sorry, I didn't mean to minimize that. I meant to bring back up OBS there. Again, here we go. Got my popcorn. It should have been hold short. Yeah, it should have been 100% max racing. It should have been hold short right off the bat. No reason to put someone who isn't ready for takeoff on an active runway. That is mistake number one. She should not have done that, and we'll let this go ahead and play on through. Alrighty, so the second part is they shouldn't have accepted a line up and wait clearance. So this is partly on them as well. They should have held short of 28 left. If there's not enough, so you can see here, there may not be enough room for an aircraft to hold short and be with their tail not being over the line here, which is why she probably crossed them here and made them hold and line up and wait here. Because if they were to hold short and someone's coming in to land here and their tail's over, well, that's a runway incursion. So what she should have had them do is sit and hold short here while they had landing traffic, and then cross them over when they were ready to line up and wait onto a right. That is another mistake. So they should not have accepted that clearance, one, and she should not have given them that clearance, two. Let's go ahead and continue on here.
Tower for Delta 1340, bring one across 28 left and 28 right, hold on Charlie.
Nope, I want you to line up and wait on 28 right and advise ready. Traffic's on a 9-mile final. You said you need 2 minutes. It'll be 5 minutes before they land. If you're not comfortable with it, hold short of 28 right and advise ready.
Nope, we're good with 5 minutes and we'll line up and wait on 28 right for Delta 1340.
All right, time 2012Z. I'm glad he put the marker in there. I realize that there was a time marker in there. So 2012Z. So they have the 2017, or actually they have until 2016Z to be spooling up the engines, because at 2017Z they'll have an aircraft coming across the threshold. So by 2016Z they should be ready to take off, which is reasonable. That's a reasonable amount of time to do what you need to do checklist wise. Let's go ahead.
905 Bravo, contact NorCal.
555 Bravo. Our sky was 4668, switch right.
Okay, 4668, runway 28 right, clear to land, traffic in position 737.
Switch right, clear to land, sky was 4668.
So that is the aircraft. I'm assuming by the time they call, usually at most major airports, by the time you call, you're on about a 5 to 6 mile final. And in that case, you're about 1 minute out. So when they get that call, that's about them saying they're about just over a minute from landing when you're on that 5-ish mile final there. So that tells me that the controller doesn't really have the best situational awareness. One, I think she may have over embellished how long the Delta crew had on the runway. Two, because they haven't even gotten into position yet in order for them to have their full 5 minutes on the runway. So we'll continue playing the video here. So that was 2 minutes later. So we're already 2 minutes into it, and SkyWest is about 1 minute out. So they're probably going to be touching down here at 2015Z, based on my guesstimate of where they would be based on a call, what typically happens at a major airport. Let's continue playing the video here.
Delta 1384, any loss on the numbers?
I mean, one more minute for Delta 1384.
Okay, so longer than 2 minutes. Exit at Charlie 2, get behind the heavy, hold short of 28 right.
Okay, well, let's go to Charlie 2, get behind the heavy for 28 right, Delta 1384.
Alrighty, no problem. You hear the Delta crew said, okay, no problem. Yeah, we can do that. We'll just get right behind the heavy. No problem. Again, you get paid by the minute. There is no reason to rush anything, right? So, hey, no problem. We can wait. We can, what, you wanna what, now they got 3 more airplanes ready to go? Okay, you wanna put us number 4 in line? That's fine with us. You know, that gives us more time to run our numbers. So we'll go ahead and continue.
Although I know you're not ready, there is traffic about a mile behind you.
Get back there as fast as possible, Delta 1384.
Please hurry.
Alrighty. So first of all, she said they had about 5 minutes, and 2 minutes later, she's rushing them to get off the runway. Are you serious right now, my dude? Are you serious right now? You said that they would have 5 minutes to get everything done. They actually had about 3 minutes, because like I said, when they checked in, it was 2 minutes later that they checked in, so 2014Z, right? And I said they would be landing about 2015Z, which is about right about what she's saying there. So maybe her timing was a little bit embellished there. They really had about 3 to 4 minutes on the runway. So let's continue on the video.
Next time runway changes, more than 30-second notice.
Ooh, okay. So did you get the ATIS?
All right, here we go. If you can't see it, down at the bottom of the ATIS, it says departing aircraft, get numbers and brief both runways 28 left and 28 right. Here's why I say San Francisco. First of all, the way she said ooh, right? So she's already taking offense. To be fair, the Delta guys did escalate that, and she's escalating it further. However, what your ATIS says doesn't mean anything to me. One, and two. Yes, okay, we can have numbers and plan and brief both runways. That is perfectly fine. We'll do that. We can do that at the gate. We can remind each other on a taxi out, hey, but here's the thing. And this is why I say San Francisco has some of the least professional controllers out there. They're hanging on by the skin of their teeth in terms of the operation, because this isn't the tower controller's fault, the person we hear on the radio. Partially it is because they changed the runway at the last second. Don't do that. That's a no-no. What she needs to do is get her behind out of that tower and into a flight deck and watch. That's what they need to do. And I don't think a single controller from San Francisco has ever ridden in a jump seat. Because if they have, a lot of the stuff that's going on over there would not be happening. They pretend that everything that they say can magically happen. It can't magically happen, right? So, yes, we can have both numbers set up for 28 left and 28 right. We can brief both runways. 28 left, 28 right, right? So that's what this whole thing down here, it's the A300 doesn't really have it, but you have your secondary flight plan, right? You can copy over your active. When you do that, you have secondary performance as well. So you have, there's no secondary performance page in here, but in the Airbus and in most other airplanes, you have secondary, you'll have secondary performance numbers as well. You can put in your secondary flight plan with a separate runway, with a separate SID, because some runways, when you change runways, it changes the SID. And since they have close parallel runways, I'm, maybe on 28 left, the departure takes you off to the left, and on 28 right, it takes you off to the right. I don't know. I'm not going to bring up the chart right now. I'm just saying it can lead you into two separate directions. So you want to make sure that you have the correct SID for the correct runway, and you put in the correct takeoff numbers into your secondary flight plan and secondary performance here. Now, to activate it, it's just one little button, right? You come down here, you activate it. Well, I don't know where the activate button is, but you would come down there and activate your secondary flight plan, and boom, it will bring in that secondary flight plan. The performance numbers will transfer right on over, but that doesn't mean you're ready for departure, because at that point, what you still need to do is you still need to look into your performance numbers and verify that those performance numbers came through, because you don't want to take off with no performance. There was an Airbus years ago, before I even flew an Airbus, that ended up crashing on takeoff because they had a runway change. They forgot to verify that the numbers imported, and they didn't. The numbers didn't come through, and they had no takeoff data, and the crew didn't know what to do. Initially, the captain took off and then decided to abort the takeoff after he rotated, and it went downhill from there. They landed nosewell first. The nosewell went through the galley of the aircraft. It was a whole thing. So that's why when we say you get paid by the minute, take the extra minute for you to both verify that your flight plan came through when you activated the secondary. Your numbers came through when you activated your secondary. And now what you want to do is you want to rerun your before takeoff checklist all over again, just to make sure it's on the CVR that you both reviewed it and you both agree on the numbers. Because if anything happens, you want to make sure you crossed your T's and dotted your I's. And that's where I do not think this person in the tower understands that, yes, they could have had both of the runways briefed and ready to go. But when you change the runway within the last 30 seconds, no, we are no longer ready to go, because I need to verify information and I need to rerun checklists. And that takes time. It's not instantaneous. I can't predict what you're thinking. And that's the issue. We can't predict what other people are thinking. That's just a human thing, right? We can't predict what other people are thinking. So it really should have been on either the ground controller to say, hey, expect this other runway. I know I told you were going to depart to a left, but you're going to depart to a right now. Or in a better case, the local controller, this person, should have, as soon as Delta was swapped over to her frequency, said, hey, you're going to depart. I'm looking. She was looking at the traffic. She has the big traffic picture. Hey, I'm going to slot you in behind an arrival. I get 10 miles on this arrival. You're going to take off before them. Plan on 28 right. Not a 30-second thing. Not a 30-second thing. And if that was her plan all along, she should have told the ground controller to let them know so that they could prep that runway. So that's not how you run an operation. That's not how you run an operation at all. Let's continue this video here. Then he zooms in on departing aircraft.
I'm going to take
Both
silence
numbers.
as the fact that you probably did not read the ATIS.
We did read the ATIS, but we're set up with 28 left. We can't just plug in runway change. Very
But our information says that you do need to have those numbers and pre-brief for this exact reason.
We have them, ma'am, but setting up takes at least 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay, and you asked me for 2, and that's what I gave you, and you needed more. We got to be honest about our numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you also said she had 5. They had 5 minutes. So, you know, that's on her for giving him the clearance, knowing that they need time to set up. And that's on them for accepting that clearance, knowing that you need to rerun a checklist. Because that before takeoff checklist, you see the hold short bars here? There's hold short bars right here. So that before takeoff checklist needs to be fully complete before you cross this line. There is no lining up on the runway, then doing your before start takeoff checklist. No. It is done before you cross this line, so that all you're focused on is the events of the takeoff. You're ready the entire time you cross this line. The only thing you're thinking of is, I'm going to lose an engine at V1. I'm going to lose an engine at V1. I'm going to lose an engine at V1. You're completely focused in on that takeoff. So that's on, you know, I kind of place partial blame on both of them for that, and not just one or the other there. So that's that. We can let that play on out. Yeah. He said, Roger. Okay, so that is kind of the end of that right there. Sorry if I got a little excited or animated about that, but again, we were talking about the flight, the San Francisco controllers. Again, I just don't think they're they're quite up to par with what the rest of the U.S. is. To be quite honest, I'm not really a fan of flying into San Francisco. And you know, there's plenty of, again, like, she's just an air traffic controller. It's not my job to make your plan work, right? It's my job to do my job, and it's your job to do your job. If I say no to something, right, which you can always do, then it's your job to make a different plan. Sorry. That's literally what being an air traffic controller is always finding new solutions to new problems. And it sounds like she has a very big issue with rapidly accepting her new situation and adapting to it, which is not a good trait to have as an air traffic controller. So my 2 cents, it is an opinion and an opinion only. A lot of it comes from experience as well, into flying in there and flying in other airports across the country, both big and small, right? I've flown into major airports. I've flown into some very tiny airports in the middle of nowhere, right? And never have I encountered a air traffic controller group that, for the life of them, it just seems like, you know, the airplanes are just dots on a screen and they can do whatever you tell them to do. No, they are not. They're human people. There are human lives in that airplane. It takes time for humans to do things. We cannot read your mind. And that's why I say I really, really, really highly recommend, if you're an air traffic controller, I highly recommend you take the opportunity and all that, the pain and paperwork that comes along with a jump seat ride along, because air traffic controllers are actually authorized to ride in the jump seat. They get like a handful of them a year that they're authorized to use. A lot of times they'll use them to go on vacation somewhere, which is perfectly fine. But you know, it's also an opportunity for them to get a little insight into how things actually operate on the flight deck. And you know, the few times I've had air traffic controllers in the jump seat, you know, they generally ask the same. This question eventually comes up, right? So the question I get asked nearly every time when I have a air traffic controller in the jump seat is, what's your biggest pet peeve from air traffic controllers? And I say my biggest pet peeve from air traffic controllers are giving me taxi instructions while I'm screaming down the runway at 100 knots trying to stop a 170,000 pound airplane from sliding off the end of the runway. That is my biggest pet peeve. And you know, most of them say the same thing. They say, I completely understand. I understand what you guys are doing when you're landing. I try to wait until you start turning off of the runway to give taxi instructions, because that is the most. Yes, I know you want to keep traffic flowing. Hey, air traffic controllers, we have an idea of where we're going and where you want us to go when we land. Because, like, let's say we're in the middle of nowhere airport, right? And there's a terminal all the way on the other side of the field when we land. We know we're going to turn around and go towards that terminal. You don't have to tell us to, while we're still on the runway at 100 knots, to make, 2 right turns and then contact ground on a certain frequency for the rest of our taxi. No, we know that the first thing we're going to do is make a U-turn to go back towards the terminal. So now you're just distracting us from doing our job. So yeah, I think ride-alongs are very, very insightful. I do have a friend that works at Tricon, and it was very interesting. It's been a while since I've seen them, but it was very interesting going down and talking to them because they were talking about arrival procedures. And she was like, when we tell you to descend via, what do you guys, what does that mean? What do you guys do? So it's stuff like that I think gives them a better understanding, because even though she herself is a pilot. She's a private pilot, right? So she's not completely out of the loop when it comes to flying. But when it comes to things like descent vias and stuff like that, they don't actually know what the airplane's gonna do. They just know that the restrictions are gonna be made, right? And it's all magic and smoke and mirrors. So I don't know. So all right, I'm gonna step off my little podium here and leave that there. But yeah, Max Reason, you sent me that video, and I immediately remembered that I had seen that some time ago, and I had thought the same thing when I first heard that audio the day it came out. So yeah, San Francisco, it's just because you write things on a piece of paper doesn't mean that we need to follow it. Sorry, because at the end of the day, it always comes down to the captain's certificate. The captain is the one that has to explain everything to the FAA. So thanks for the insight. I will be on the lookout for these type of controllers. Yeah, you should have those controllers are going to be very much a rarity to come across in the real world. Most controllers, you'll have a good controller when they admit to taking or they take blame for what has happened. And even a simple, oh sorry, that was my fault, I didn't mean to do that. Hey, that changes the entire mood on a flight deck, because when you go into an accusatory tone, accusing a flight deck crew of not being prepared and not being able to fly their airplane, then guess what? They're going to escalate the situation right back, right? Like, who are you to accuse us of not knowing how to fly our airplane, right? My question would be, do you want to come down here and fly for me then? Because I'd be very interested to see you come down here and fly my airplane. So there's you got to get over the God complex. And just be humble. Have some humble pie. And I guarantee you, that person in the tower is probably a well-known person. And I guarantee you, if you did a tower tour in San Francisco and you asked about that person, everyone would immediately know who you're talking about. Because no one wants to be put on blast like that. So yeah, know your airplane. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but no one wants to be put on blast like that, right? No one wants, the shit. If this is the same one person, they're giving San Francisco controllers a very bad look. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll step off my soapbox now. She should be required acquire a type rating on a Boeing 777. Oh man, yeah. Unfortunately, I really don't think she could back up her words. Again, professional pilots, it takes so many thousands of hours to get just to where you are. You've accumulated little bits of knowledge along the way, just a little here and there, a little bit, and everything builds and builds and builds and builds. Just like being an air traffic controller, you acquire knowledge here and here and here and here, and it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds, and it becomes, over time, you have this wealth of knowledge, and it all culminates to you being what they call in the air traffic world, a fully certified controller, meaning you can work all the positions in the tower, you can work all the positions in the radar room. If you're in an up-down tower. If you're in a VFR tower, I guess it's only the one thing. But if you're in an up-down tower, then a fully certified controller knows how to operate all the positions in said tower. The same with a pilot, you know, same with an airline pilot. You know, we're only typed specifically on one airplane and one seat on one airplane. However, they want it to be very specific because they really just want you to know your one airplane very good, because lives depend on it, right? So both jobs are high pressure, high stakes jobs. It's not easy being an air traffic controller. I'm not saying that I could get up there and do their job, although, you know, I did take the test, passed the test to be an air traffic controller, and did some classroom work in the. I did tower work. I did radar, en route radar, and en route non radar work way back when I was in college. And so I understand what's going on behind the scenes. However, you know, there's no reason to talk down to people like that, you know. So and that's one of the reasons I wanted to take some of those classes, was so that I would understand what's happening behind the scenes. Because when you're talking about the, you know, air traffic control, there's lots of other things that are pulling your attention away from just saying clear to take off or clear to land. You're trying to coordinate with ground control to get an airplane across this runway, and then the ground has to find a slot for them to slot in. And so like you're making all this other stuff happening in the background. Or if you're in the en route world, you're talking to other controllers saying, hey, I get an aircraft here, he wants to go here, yada, 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 which is a lot of times, I don't know if you've probably heard this, Max Racing, while you've been flying, is someone will call up, hey, Houston approach, November 12345. Silence. Houston approach, November 12345. Silence. Houston approach, November 12345. Say again, I was on a landline. 100%. It happens all the time. You know you've heard it. You know you've heard it flying around Max Racing. It happens all the time. There's other things that's happening in the background that you just can't see. So you just got to be patient, and that's my thing. Just be patient. Because you never know what that air traffic controller is doing. And likewise, air traffic controllers don't know how to fly an airplane, right? Some of them do. Some of them have their private pilot's license, right? But not everyone. Like, you tell an air traffic controller to define lift, they'll just stare blankly at your face. They know how to move traffic around. They can't define lift to you. Just count to 10 and try again. Yep. Very much true. Let's see. I see my top of descent arrow coming up. We have not briefed anything yet, but what I will do is we'll go ahead and set the bottom side. They're going 18 here, so 11 is what we're going to want to set, and I'll bring our range down a little bit, so I can see that top of descent arrow just a little better. Excellent. So we have that. Go ahead and go into plan. We'll go back into our flight plan here. We have, well, that's Taft, Mahaff. We're about to cross. Then we have Scorza, William, at our flight level 240 and 270 knots. That looks good. Then we have Susan. Susan's at about 17,270 knots. That looks good. And Parker at or below 200 and 250 knots. Then in coma. That's going to be at 11 and 250 knots. The last one is Boaton and Camper. And then we have the ILS here to runway 18 right. Yeah, 18 right. So we have Redkey, Nella, Woven, Emers, Jahant, Ayud, Ayud, yeah, and Silov. Is that on there? No, Silov isn't on there. Okay, that's for the localizer. Okay. And then for the missed approach, we'll take it on out to stall. Stall. There. That looks good. Let's zoom back out here. Yeah, it's about 20 nautical miles, 10 nautical miles. Let's go ahead and do a profile descent. So we have profile speed, profile descent. Looks good. Muy bien. And the frequency is going to be 11015. So 11015, and the final approach course is 183. Should have went the other way since it's 183, but that's okay. There we go, 183. Let's go ahead and go to our approach page here, 944. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. Will be 3040 and auto brakes low. I think we should be fine with low. I think. It is what it is. Excellent. So hopefully I didn't lose that many people there. I mean, it seemed like a lot of people. Hopefully I didn't bore your ears off there, but just count to 10 and try again. Yeah, I've heard the vigorous typing in the background. Oh yes. Oh, that's another thing is and I don't know. I mean, it's been a really long time since I've done radar work, and I don't know if they've upgraded the system, but the radar is called STARS. I don't know what it means. So like it's something terminal arrival radar or something like that is the name of the system. And it's a keyboard, and it's not a keyboard that you would think it is. It has like, it's truncated into different sections. So it's not like your corded keyboard. It's not a corded keyboard at all. At all. It is specifically designed to handle airplanes and all the various things that you need to do with an airplane, right? So it's not a quarter keyboard at all. And it's truncated into sections. So it looks like a quarter keyboard, but it's not. It has different names on different buttons, and it has different colors for different sections of what you're doing on your keyboard. And what you have to do, ND Center advises to send and maintain flight level 300, no separation required. Oh, when did that happen? And okay, so 3297. I got two things at the same time. That was weird. 3297. Hello, Center American 3318 is flight level 305, descending on the Parker 4, landing to the south. Oh, 32975. I'm an idiot. There we go.
Set of 2714 traffic to follow is going to be at your 12 o'clock in about 7-ish miles. 4,500 descending southwestbound. Report Timber the field in sight.
Hello, Center American 3318, flight level 285, descending on the Parker 4, landing to the south.
American 3318, Atlanta Center, descend via the Parker 4 arrival, Charlotte's landing south, the shuttle altimeter 3001.
Descend via the Parker 4, landing to the south 3001 for American 3318. Alrighty, so had the spray brakes out just a little bit there to help with the descent. I was gonna check something else. Oh, the weather. That's what I'm gonna check. I need to close you, refresh you, and 240 at 8. It's pretty clear there. 3001. So that's what we'll put in there. There we go. Excellent.
1152 at AJ, contact tower 119.1.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't lose too many people with my rant there, but yeah, you said the vigorous typing in the background. Yeah, the keyboard. So yeah, there'll be different sections of the keyboard have different colors, depending on what you're trying to do with the aircraft in the computer system. So really, that keyboard is a way of talking to the computer system, so that it updates for all the air traffic controllers in the system. So like when they give you a climb and maintain altitude, or climb and maintain, for example, they have to change the altitude they gave you in the system so that it updates, so everyone should know what altitude you were last cleared to. And so that's why a lot of times you hear them typing in the background, or, you know, hey, turn left heading, or not even that, giving direct to somewhere, right? So now they have to put in the computer system that there's a direct to yada 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 fix, so that the computer system knows, oh, they're going here and they're not going to be following whatever it is on their flight plan route. So that's why you always hear every time they say something to you, they're also typing the same thing into the computer system. Those things are loud. Yes, they're very loud. They're very loud, very clicky, as well. So, oh well, I missed Beanie Baby Gaming here. Let's go ahead and bring him up real quick. He is officially has officially departed out of Detroit on his way to Toronto there for the VATSIM event. He's Delta 192. Flying along on VATSIM with the VATSIM event. Hopefully he doesn't hold for what was it, like an hour that he held last night, just drilling holes in the sky. So yeah, but like you said, Max Racing, those things are very loud, which is why you always hear them. Which is why you always hear them clicking in the background, because every time you say something, you type something. You never do one without the other. Because when you do, then you get yourself in a situation where, did I give him this? If you had put it in the system, you would have known. So So there we go. That is Max. That is Beanie Baby Gaming right there, cruising along up to Toronto. We'll probably come back to him just after he ends up landing in Toronto, or just on his after we land in Charlotte, or after he lands here and in Toronto. So after we land in Charlotte, hopefully he'll still be airborne, and we'll be able to look at his landing if we're still in the deplaning process there. So there we go. Beanie Baby Gaming, everyone. Let's go ahead and monitor our profile again, and we're high. Let's go ahead and get those speed brakes all the way out. Just get that descent going. Gotta love these heavies and their massive boards they have.
American 442, copy maintain, Pablo 230.
Thanks for talking on the issue. It's obvious it's a very important topic. I mean, it's I would say in the last few days it's been a very, since that has happened. It's been kind of a hot topic issue, and it's just like being cool on the radio in general. Pilots being respectful to each other on the radio at an untowered airport. That's a huge thing. As well. So be courteous to each other out there. Be courteous to your air traffic controllers. What do you think when I'm on VATSIM? I try to thank them for being online, because they don't have to be online. They don't have to deal with this BS of people who don't know what they're doing and don't know how to fly a radar vector or something like that. So, you know, it's they do it. They do it because they love it. And it always helps to tell someone that, you know, let them know, hey, yeah, I appreciate everything you guys are doing. It goes a long way, right? No need to escalate any situations when we're out there flying the line. It's unnecessary. I don't need more stress in my life, right? So that's one of those things for sure. Again, just like the British Airways pilot, file a report. Delta pilots, file a report, because someone in the company looks at the report and they go to the air traffic control organization in San Francisco and say, hey, show me the radar data, let me listen to the tapes, because they can get all of that information. It's very easy. It's all it's all kept and recorded.
Thank you.
We're slowing up to 250 knots here for Parker. We're looking really well here on the arrival. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and get our lights on. I left all the other lights on. I forgot to turn everything out. Well, we got our landing lights back on. Let's go ahead and pause our in-flight music here.
Please don't do that.
Please don't do that. Yeah, that's not fun. And let's go ahead and get our replaying here. Let's go ahead and record it. There we go. Yes, we'll go ahead and record that. We are recording the replay. We're 12 for 11. I'm gonna bring the speed brakes in. Beautiful. Oh, 250 knots. Okay, yeah, we do need to speed back up to 250 knots. Interesting that it wouldn't just descend quicker. It wanted to slow down. Whatever. There we go. We'll zoom on out there. Beautiful. Level here at 11. I really hope he descends us so we can turn onto the approach here. That would be fantastical. Alrighty, so it's just center online. So he's controlling everything. That's okay.
American 3318, fly heading of 110 to maintain 4,000, or excuse me, 140 to maintain 4,000 vectors for the visual approach.
140, 4,000 for American 3318. Heavy. Alrighty, there's 140, there's 4,000.
Set at 1946, reduce speed to 210, then to maintain 5.
There we go. I will say direct to Emmers, but I'll keep us at nav. Direct to Emmers, since I don't know how to do like a radial, and we'll do Emmers. There we go. And I will leave us in heading select there. I'll switch us over to LS. Excellent, looking beautiful. Alrighty, looks like we're going to pop out of the basis of the clouds here. Looking beautiful.
Jacksonville Center closed. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. We'll see you.
Frequency change approved. See ya.
American 3318 Heavy, do you have a runway preference into Charlotte?
We're set up for 18 right for American 3318 Heavy.
Roger, you can expect the visual 18 right.
We'll expect that for American 3318 Heavy. Thank you.
Delta 1946, fly heading 330. This is to maintain 3,000 vectors for the visual approach.
And I do have the airport in sight. Kind of hard to tell, but there it is down there.
November 10 Charlie, you are cleared to the Atlanta airport as filed. Maintain 14,000. Departures with me, squawk 4726. Hold for release.
Just a few miles here. We'll slow up to 210 knots.
Charlie, correct. Advise within short of the active frequency change of route.
And let's go ahead and we'll go to T, the TO page. We'll say final approach there. We'll bring the checklist back up. Approach signs are set. Briefing is confirmed. ECAM status is checked. Normal altimeters. We have 3001 set. Thrice minimums is 944. If I do remember, that is set. Ignition is continuous relay. That's what we need there. Beautiful. There we go. We'll set that there. Does it have... Does it approach? There we go. 944. Beautiful.
2191, affirmative, fly heading 090 to maintain level 190.
No, it's kind of hard to see. I still see it.
18 heavy, fly heading 150 on the 18 right, localize to report to field inside.
150, join a 18 right, localize your reports inside for American 3318 Heavy.
You said it is inside, I'm sorry?
Affirmative.
American 3318 Heavy, clear visual approach 18 right, runway 18 right, clear to land.
Clear visual approach 18 right, clear to land for American 3318 Heavy. There we go, we're clear for the visual approach. We're about to level up here at 4,000. I have the speed coming on back to 210 knots. At 240 knots, we can go flaps 15-0, which we can do now. Beautiful.
November 10 Charlie, you are released for departure.
And at 205 knots, we should be able to go. Let's go ahead and just keep it slowing on down 190 knots, shall we? And at 205 knots, we should be able to go. Flaps 15-15. There we go. 15-15. And we'll keep it on coming on down 170 knots. And our final ref is going to be 133. So that should be perfectly fine there. 133 will be final ref. Bring that in just a little bit there. Beautiful.
1722 descend via the arrival and at Roman cleared island. Or are we 26 right or 27 left?
Alrighty. It's not going to slow down, so I'm going to go ahead and get some. Drop the gear there.
Alright, then you're cleared for the ILS runway 26 right approach.
We'll go ahead and bring in 133. We are cleared to land. And at, let's see, 205, so 195. Okay. We have that. Let's go flaps 15-20. Gear is down. Auto brakes low. And lastly, at 165, we can go 30-40.
You too, thank you. November 10 Charlie, radar contact about 2 miles east of the Dublin airport.
There we go. 165, flaps 30-40. Landing checklist. Landing gear. Down 3 green. Auto brake. Low.
Center 2372.
Any skid?
Atlanta Center, comment
Checked.
maintain, file
Slats flaps.
3900.
30-40. Spoilers. Armed. Landing checklist is complete. There we go.
Center 1722.
Almost looks like Charlotte's just sitting in like a bowl of clouds. Like you can see it's like beautiful right above the airport, but then it's like, okay, out to the west it's not too bad.
November 224 Sierra Bravo at Atlanta Center. Radar contact position as reported and proceed on course. Delta 2191, turn left.
Alrighty, sounds are coming up. Autopilot's coming off. Auto thrust is coming off, or auto throttles are coming off.
November 224 Sierra Bravo, are you looking for flight following to north or flight following directly to PDK?
80. 60. Manual braking. There we go. Beanie Baby Gaming back in the chat says, hey, greased it. I'm about to descend. I'll try to get your descent and landing here before we get into the replays. We'll go ahead and vacate here.
318, welcome to Charlotte, taxi via Sierra, cross runway 18 center at Sierra to an Echo to the ramp.
I am concerned about this. Sierra and join 18 center, or cross 18 center to the ramp for American 3318 Heavy. Thanks for the ATC. You have a great night.
Thanks for flying. See you next time.
Alrighty. See how easy it is to be nice to the controllers? I was worried that this bridge was kind of messing up. I didn't realize there's a bridge here. Huh. Alrighty. So we'll continue on Sierra. Okay. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. We'll continue on. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Let's go flaps up. Get the APU going.
Delta 1096 across that Canada, maintain policy 40. And Delta 1096, that's what's going
Or
down.
just end and come and watch. Yeah, I could completely do that. So, I already went over there, gave you a nice little like there. Let's see. We'll go ahead and get our APU. Go. Wait, that's the right button, right? Yeah, that is the right button. Excellent.
Delta 2191, flight 6330, that's going to maintain 5,000.
Do whatever I want there. Yeah, Max. Sorry, not Max Racing, but Beanie Baby Gimme. Yeah, of course the brake fan. The brakes are gonna be hot. We'll go ahead and get them starting on their way down to cool off now. It's alright, Beanie Baby Gaming. Yeah, I have you up, but I have you muted as well. So, no worries there. I'll probably, when I pop on over, I'll say hello to you in chat. No worries there. We are clear on the left. We are... Mouse is faster. Clear on the right. We are cleared to cross. And I don't know what gate I want to go to. Max Racing, what does Operation Sargate is going to be for tonight? We don't have operations in chat. Bravo 6. Okay, there we go. Let's see. We go Bravo and 6. Nope. Yeah, we'll just do that one. Bravo 6 is in the alleyway there. Okay, so I need to go into the alleyway. Looks like some 777s over there. We'll continue here and then we will U-turn it around. We go into the alleyway. There we go. Look at that 777 there sitting on the gate. 2 777s. Beautiful. I can see my purple people sitting all the way down there. So there we go.
November 2240 Bravo, the T3 airport inside. November 2240 Bravo, turn right.
I was like, where's my line? Okay, it just stops. Cool. We'll just pretend this black line is a line. Alrighty, that's 8 and 6 right here. Fun gate. We have the little DGS system. So the hardest thing for me is going to be making sure I line up on the center line.
November 2240 Bravo, turn right turn heading 030, report to fill this site.
I guess I really don't need to do that.
November 2240 Bravo, that might be either Fulton County or the Dobbins Airfield. Please read a cap between to your right and about 10 miles. November 2240 Bravo, cleared, touching over.
There we go. Beautiful. So we'll go ahead and set our parking brake. Excellent. APU is online, so that is good. We'll go. I'm gonna go ahead and get the beacon off now, and the fast seatbelt sign. I don't want to blow another slide. So beacon's on. Fast seatbelt sign is off. We can go ahead and get engine 1 off. Engine 2 can come off. Up to our overhead. Get all of our fuel pumps off. And our propane can come off as well. That all looks good. Excellent. Let's go ahead and... Yep. Let's go ahead and do a... Well, after landing checklist, slats and flaps are retracted. Transponders as required. Radar is off. Spoilers are disarmed. APU has been started. APU bleed can come on now. That should be good. Excellent. Engines are off. Differential pressure 0. Lights and signs are as required. Fuel pumps are off. Window propane is off, and our parking brake is set. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and begin our deplaning process. Welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Silver Bullet. There we go. Let's go ahead and stop our replay, shall we? And go ahead and do that. We'll log off of VATSIM. Thank you for your service there, VATSIM. Really do appreciate that. There we go. Beautiful. And we can get rid of our Fly Live overlay there as well. Don't need that anymore. I'll go ahead and turn the volume back down. We do not need that to be as loud because we're getting ready to go outside. Beautiful. You know what? Make it a little bit quieter outside. How about we get the GPU on and the brake fans off? How about that? Wind balance. Here we go. Ground equipment. We'll toggle the chocks, and then we'll attach the GPU. We'll go ahead and get the GPU power on. Excellent. And we'll turn the APU off there, and we will go ahead and turn the brake fans off as well. There we go. Significantly quieter outside. Beautiful. Get a little bit of ground music going for us while we're down here, and let us see where BB. Okay, he is on his descent. I'll put him up right there and at the bottom side of our screen. So yeah, he is on his descent into the Toronto area there. That's BB Gaming. Where do I move him? I guess right there is fine. We'll leave it right there. I moved it around to be exactly where it was. So there we go. There we go. Looks a little better there. Why is it only one cart? It imported from Simbrief. That's very interesting. That was only one cart in the front and one cart in the back. I'm a little sad. That's why it was so quick to load and deplane. Wow. Well, they're already done deplaning the bags. That took like no time at all. Gotta love it. It's very nice that we finally live in an age where a metallic airplane can look metallic in flight sim. Like, it used to not look like this at all. It used to be like a really matte. I mean, it still is kind of matte, but you can tell and that they worked hard to make it look like that shiny aluminum with the American right there. Alrighty, let's head back here. We'll say goodbye to our last few passengers. And we have 2 flight attendants there. Let's say goodbye to our passengers. In fact, let's go right here. We'll say goodbye from right here. How about that? Yeah, Max Racing says fun gate. That's a B6. Are you saying like JetBlue? Because it's a JetBlue gate. Get it? B6. But if you're saying fun gate, I mean, I feel like there's definitely more difficult gates to park out there. Literally any gate in LA that's going to be difficult to park at. They have a lot of weird restrictions there in LA. The hardest ones to park at are ones where you gotta come in and make like a 135-degree turn to get into the gate. Those can be the most difficult ones. It's not too bad in a 321, but it is insane. Or sorry, it's not too bad in a 319. It gets exponentially harder in a 321. Because you do have to overshoot it a little bit so that when you come back around, you're not lined up crooked on the line. So, you know, it is what it is at that point. So there we go. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have Beanie Baby Gaming on his way into on the way into Toronto there. Sweet deal. Have a great night. Thanks for streaming. Max Racing, thank you for coming out and spend a little bit of your time here in the Eagle's Nest. I really do appreciate you coming out each night, supporting the channel. I really do. Thank you very much. So very much. I really do appreciate that. Looks like he's being vectored onto his base leg here. great time for direct to radial in. There we go. Man, it seemed like it boarded up quicker than we're deplaning. That's for sure. Maybe maybe my briefings are just taking way too long. Maybe that's what it is. All right, I see a noticeable lack of people coming back down the aisles. Let's see. Anyone else? Nope. Airplane looks empty. Flight attendants, are you going to randomly disappear on us now that we're done deplaning? I wonder, because I just noticed that bulkhead doesn't have a TV on it. Oh, I wonder if the first class seats have the TVs that are like in the armrest and they pop out, so each person gets their own little TV. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. All right, let's go ahead and hop back in here. We'll get our... We will leave the beacon off for now. We will close the doors. I am learning things. Learning has occurred after I blew 1,000,000 slides. There we go. And then we can get ready for takeoff. Confirm. There we go. All the doors are armed now. That's good. We'll wait for everything to come up and online. Get all those on. That will be on. Excellent. Engines are slowly spooling up there. I'm gonna keep Beanie Baby Gaming up in the background so we can monitor when he begins landing there. Let's go ahead and we get 2, 4, 6. Everything is looking good. We'll bring up our replay tool here. And we'll load our replay. Beautiful. There we go. I shall, well, you gotta fast forward in order to fast forward. There we go. There we go. We'll do this view first. Well, let's see. Yeah, we'll do this one first. Hopefully, from the other way, we can see downtown Charlotte there. That would be the hope. Beautiful. Minimal float there. Minimal float. Absolutely beautiful. We'll take it back again. Oh yeah, we can see downtown Charlotte. It's not the actual skyline. Hey, maybe Asobo should go and do an AI sweep of Charlotte. Get the actual skyline down there. Either way, good enough for me. It sells the vision. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and get the outside shot. You know, I gotta get it so I'm facing a skyline somewhere. Merely missed some power lines. Didn't see those there. Beautiful. Pretty much right on center line. Minimal float. Just past the 1,000 footers. Wow. Alrighty. Beanie Baby Gaming. It looks like he is about to land. So let's go ahead and bring him back up now, shall we? Looks like he's battling a crosswind there. Yeah. Indy is showing like a 5-knot crosswind from the left. Beautiful. Minimal float. I'll take a minimal float landing all day. Gotta love that. He came in, it looked like he was slightly high on the air bridge, but he came in and landed it with a minimal float. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Beautiful, beautiful landing, Beanie Baby Gaming. Absolutely wonderful here. Let me go ahead and write that on his all right, there we go. Got a beautiful there. All right, excellent. We'll get these drone views in here real quick. Shall we? Let's see. I want to do this. Okay, first of all, I want to make sure that my drone is... I've been having a little bit of issues with the drone cam. All right. Get the buttons right the first time. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful landing. It doesn't get any better than that, chat. It really doesn't. We'll do the over the numbers shot here before we go inside for our last replay. Yeah, get it right in line with there we go. Do that. Oh wow, it's coming in like a little blurry from this distance. Interesting. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful landing. We will bring that back one last time. Go up to the flight deck for our final landing shot here. There we go. I always like to bring the drone cam back to where it originally started, because why not? There we go. We'll bring this on back to about right there. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I just realized the parking brake is still on. Huh. Did not realize that. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Beanie Baby Gaming, Max Racing, Squiddy Aviation. Thank you all for coming out and spending a little bit of your evening here in the Eagle's Nest. I'll be off for just about a week here there. I'll be back, and we'll probably continue doing some heavy flying across America. So please stay tuned for the next live stream there. Until I see you all again, please remember to take care of yourselves and each other. Until then, my name is Great Eagle. Peace.